What if I told you that every Fortnite tournament is rigged, and it's worse than you think? In our last video, we exposed how cheaters are destroying the game, but that was just the surface. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on Fortnite's hidden inner circle, from cheaters and teamers, to rigged scrims, surge trading, and a scandal involving one of the game's top young prodigies. To understand how this all started, we have to rewind to 2017, when Fortnite Battle Royale was first released. Back then, there was no official competitive scene. No cash cups, no FNCS, no custom lobbies. Competitive Fortnite was just Discord servers and community-hosted scrims. Over time, the best players in each region formed friend groups. These groups gained so much influence that they could message Scrim Discord admins and tell them exactly who was allowed to land at certain drop spots and who wasn't. If they didn't want you landing on them, you simply wouldn't be allowed to practice. That meant no reps at the best POIs on the map, which gave these groups the strongest loot, best positioning, and one of the biggest advantages going into tournaments. And as we're about to see, that advantage didn't stop at practice. It sounds hopeless, right? But stay with me, because later in the video, I'm going to show you exactly how to beat the system. Whether you're grinding for placement or trying to break into finals, there are ways to fight back. In the final game of FNCS Major 3 on NA Central, Peterbot's team faced off against Poyo's trio at Demon's Domain. Poyo's team had a massive 90-point lead, the only thing standing between Peterbot and the win. Peterbot won the off-spawn fight, took the match, and ended up winning the event by just 3 points. That's what competitive Fortnite should look like. The best teams battling for the win the right way.
Your Major 3 champions, Peterbot, Ritual, Cold. 3 points separating them from first and second place.
But on NA West, things got strange.
Did we just fully collude? How have we got an entire POI unconned? We might have hit like the collusion like masterclass mode.
One of the region's top 3 teams, just one match away from qualifying for the FNCS Global Championship in Lyon, made a move that had players, fans, and even other pros scratching their heads. Up to this point, their main drop had been Utopia City, the same one they used all season and for most of this event. Yet, on day 2, they briefly tried Crime City and Lone Wolf Lair due to pressure at Utopia, but those were still contested. Then came Game 6, and for the first time they landed at Shiny Shafts, uncontested. When Mero confronted Victor V's dad about this change on stream, he explained it as part of the Teeny strat, a method made by popular EU Pro Teeny. The idea is simple. By landing at multiple POIs during a tournament, you can disrupt other teams' looting patterns, deny them resources, and gain an edge in mid to late game.
We were teeny bopping or whatever you call it, teeny stratting the whole joint. We went to 4 different spots because we had to. Because somebody like Virgo, your teammate and Bucky, and Source and all them were following us.
It's risky, but legitimate on paper. But there's a catch, and this is where things get shady. Before Game 6, Shiny Shafts was home to B-Dog's team. They were in 10th place going into the last match, far too low to qualify for LAN. B-Dog also happened to be a part of the same friend group as Victor V. Victor V's trio, on the other hand, was sitting in 3rd place and needed just a few more points to secure their LAN spot. The last game starts, and right out of the bus, Victor's team goes to Shiny Shafts. However, B-Dog's team, who has been landing there the entire tournament, wasn't there. Ultimately, Victor and his trio played the rest of the game uncontested from Shiny Shafts and qualified to secure their LAN spot at the Fortnite Global Championships. Is this a coincidence or something else? I'm not claiming they coordinated, but when you look at the stakes, the relationships, and the timing, it's a hard picture to ignore. And this isn't just about one game. It's part of a much bigger problem in competitive Fortnite. To understand why these moves mattered so much, you have to know the history. Back in 2021, one of Victor V's current teammates, Paper FN, was banned after a drop spot dispute spiraled out of control. It was right before FNCS Grand Finals heats in Chapter 2.
I'm doing this, we're sticking with Holly, right? But the day before the tournament, right before heats, like he's like, hey, yo, we switch it up, we're going Spire now, bro. I was like, oh, word? I was like, all right, I'll help you out with Spire because I know how to play Spire because me and Nosh go there in duos. So I help him out. I tell him the strats for Spire. I tell him what to do, right? And then boom, I'm like, all right, well, I'm about to be uncon in heats, so I have no reason to like leave the drop, like, because I would have left the drop obviously if I was gonna be contested.
Paper's trio was being contested at Holy Hedges. Instead of fighting them out, Paper admitted to coaching the other team, showing them how to play a different POI so he could stay uncontested. But this didn't work out for Paper as expected, and they still landed on him during heats. And that's where things turned ugly. Paper lashed out publicly, on Twitter, in Twitch chats, sending extreme threats to players contesting him. We're talking about direct, violent threats, including wishing someone getting eliminated in real life with no reboot. The consequences were immediate. His entire team at the time, Elite Esports, was disqualified from FNCS, and Paper's Twitch account was permanently banned. We can't show all of the messages here, but the article is linked in the description. That was over 4 years ago. But if you look closely, the same patterns seem to be resurfacing. In the most recent FNCS, Paper, now teammates with Victor V, had already qualified for grand finals through heats. Despite that, he coached another team during the last chance qualifier to land at Utopia. That team qualified as well, and in grand finals, they switched drop spots. Sound familiar? It's not just an NA West thing. Across multiple regions, there have been countless cases where teams mysteriously change drops in ways that benefit friends or allies. On the surface, these moves can be explained as a strategy. The teeny strat is a real thing. Metas change, POIs get swapped all the time. But when the swaps happen only in the most crucial matches, when the teams who benefit are in the same friend group, and when the history of drop spot manipulation goes back to the beginning of competitive Fortnite, you start to wonder, is competitive Fortnite really just about who's the best on the day, or who's best connected behind the scenes? Because right now, unless you're a part of the right network, you might never get a fair shot. And if you thought drop spot coordination was the only grey area in competitive Fortnite, you'd be wrong. Because when the stakes are high, some players find ways to push the limits in other mechanics too. Mechanics that were only supposed to keep the game fair, but instead have been twisted into a tool for exploitation. One of the most infamous examples, Storm Surge, a system designed to force players to fight, but one that's just quietly been turned into another form of collusion. And just like with drop spots, getting caught can be career-ending. In 2019, Epic Games introduced the mechanic into its competitive scene. If you're below the damage threshold, the game starts damaging you until you get enough tags or you're eliminated. It was meant to keep the action moving, but less than a year after it was added, players found a way to exploit it, a tactic now known as surge trading. The idea is simple. Two teams meet up early, exchange damage without trying to eliminate each other, and both walk away above the threshold, while the rest of the lobby plays normally. In late 2019, 4 pros, Creo, Bucky, Slacks, and Keys were caught doing it during a tournament, and it resulted in a 60-day competitive ban for all 4 players, and immediate removal from the event.
Welcome back to more esports talk, yet again talking about some Fortnite pros who have been banned from the game, actually being issued the longest ban ever in Fortnite pro history, unless you want to count Jarvis in his lifetime ban. That's going to be a set of 60-day bans handed out to 4 Fortnite pros, that being Slacks, Creo, Buck, and Keys, have now all been banned officially following FNCS, where they actually were teaming and colluding.
And while that ban sent a message, it didn't eliminate surge trading. If anything, it just pushed it underground, where it's harder to detect but still happening. In Chapter 6, surge trading took to new heights. Even though these 4 players were banned for trading in the past, today Epic Games had acknowledged surge trading to be a form of strategy. And if you aren't surge trading with other teams, you are at a severe disadvantage. The way these players practice and learn how to surge trade is by playing scrims. For most regions, if you want to practice against the best, you go into Vital Scrims, the largest and most respected scrim organizer in NA and OCE. For most scrims and competitive events, players claim a drop spot, either by making a post they will be landing somewhere, or by signing up for these scrims and putting in a request to land at that spot for practice. But not everyone gets the drop they request, and not everyone can even get into these lobbies. You need enough PR or placements to practice against the highest level players in your region, and even then, that doesn't guarantee you a fair shot. Multiple players have reported that in these lobbies, top pros get preference for the best drop spots. If a big name claims a POI, the admins can tell you outright, you can't land there. For lesser known teams, that means no chance to practice the best POIs against the best players, putting them at a huge disadvantage on tournament day. There are even accusations that some of the admins who manage and run these scrims are being manipulated by cheaters who threaten to grief their tournament qualifiers if they do not listen to the cheaters. Since Fortnite is a very unique game and each lobby can consist of up to 100 players, not everyone can place at the top. When some players realize they have no chance to place in the money, they turn to griefing. There are allegations of players being paid to land on and eliminate specific teams in tournaments. A player out of contention can still influence the standings, especially if they target a rival team's drop with the remaining games for the event they are participating in. Then there's stream sniping, watching a player's live broadcast to track their every move. Streamers and competitive players like Clicks, Typical Gamer, and myself have faced constant harassment this way.
Wow, dude, look how good he's at building.
Look at him, he's showing you. He's showing you the way, dude.
Wow, look how good he's
the way.
building. Oh,
There's the emote, there it is.
There it is, dude. 4-player, stream, sniping.
Whether it's for cash, revenge, or to help a friend win, paid griefing and stream sniping can swing tournaments as much as mechanical skill, and Epic's current enforcement hasn't been enough to stop it. From drop spot manipulation, to surge trading, to rigged scrims, and paid griefing, one thing is clear. This isn't just about a few bad actors, it's a system, one where influence and backroom deals can matter just as much as aim and building. And unless Epic steps in with real reform, the hidden inner circle will keep deciding who wins, long before the first bus even launches.